Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ask Dr. Be Good show, where we try to bring you the positive things going on in public education. And today, we're going to revisit a subject that I thought was pretty close to my heart, but evidently needs to get closer to my heart because I wasn't saying it exactly right. And actually, that information came to us through the questioning of one of our high school students. And so because of that questioning, it led to us digging deeper into our dual credit program, and I've been able to learn more about it and actually learned that I wasn't saying some of the things correctly. So before we go on, let's go ahead and introduce who is here, and we'll talk about who should have been here. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Natasha Forge. I'm the College and Career Counselor at the Mesquite campus.
And Ms. Zambrano should have been here because she is the College Career Counselor at Plano. She's been under your tutelage, and now this year she's got her own wings, but unfortunately we had a situation in Plano and it did not allow her to come, and so we're sad about that, but I'm sure there will be other opportunities. This is like your fourth or fifth time. We always find a reason to have you here, so welcome.
Thank you.
And before we sort of go into the deep part, let's talk about how did we end up with the opportunity to be able to offer our kids college credit starting in 9th grade.
So one of the things is that we are we were considered a dual credit school. However, House Bill 5, with House Bill 5, we wanted to make sure that all of our students were first college and career ready. And so with them being college ready, then we're also able to offer college courses in which they're able to pair with what we offer as a high school course at Legacy. So that's one of the things, and that's why the classes are called dual credit, which means if they're taking an English class, then it's being substituted as a English course in college. And so then they receive the credit for high school as well as the credit hours for college.
So that led us, House Bill 5 in 2013 led us to the endorsement pathway system, and that was to give opportunities to kids to become more dual credit, to give the opportunities to have more dual credit during their high school. So can you talk a little bit about our current endorsements at Legacy?
Mm-hmm. We have 3 endorsements at Legacy. We offer public service health as well as our IT, which is under the business industry, but it's information technology. So those are the 2 that the last 2 school years our seniors have been able to graduate with. This year, I will say that we will have 1 student who will graduate with the business. However, moving forward until the 21 school year for graduations, then majority of at least about 30% of our students will be able to graduate with that business industry. So we do have the 3. Once again, it's business, we have information technology, and then public service health.
So again, to build on the foundation of House Bill 5, it allowed for endorsements, and it also gave us the foundation program, and that is the minimum amount of credits that a student must have to be able to graduate.
Yes, and that number is 22. However, Legacy, we are overachievers, so we want to make sure that our students not only graduate on the foundation plan, we also ensure that they graduate with at least 1 endorsement. The goal is for all students to graduate with 2 endorsements. However, sometimes our transfer students, they don't have the credits that they need to graduate with what we would consider a career endorsement. So we really focus on all students receiving what we consider the multiple disciplinary endorsement, which is what 4x4. And when I say 4x4, it means that we want them to have 4 math, 4 science, 4 social studies, and 4 English classes. And so that's the goal. Now, when we talk about the career endorsement, then that's the one of the 3 that I just discussed, in which they have to take at least 4 courses in that field. And so once they take those 4 courses, then we also give them a practicum, usually their senior year, and then they graduate with that second endorsement.
So we have a couple of things going on here in high school now. We have the dual credit, and then we have endorsements that are not really endorsements. We have our high school requirement endorsements, but then you have the college endorsements.
So what we do have at the Mesquite campus at this time, and they are looking forward to go to the Plano campus as well, is we do have our IT courses, even though they are endorsements. Then Mr. Walker, he teaches it as a dual credit course. And so with it being a dual credit course, then there are some students who would have taken his 4 classes, which are principles of IT, IT networking, and either the students can take, principles of IT, networking, web technologies, and then now we also have digital media. So those 4 courses, if they take them under him, then they have they're eligible for a certificate. And so what that certificate is, it is similar to a student going to college and receiving an associate's degree. So now what they have is at the college they have an associate's degree and they have a certificate. So our students don't have to go in and take the math, the science, the social studies. So we offer that IT certificate, so students they'll be able to start a position with a certificate stating, like, for example, a pharmacy technician. You have to have a certificate now to be able to be a pharmacy technician. So now they'll have their certificate in IT.
So they will graduate high school with their
with their IT certificate.
IT certificate.
Yes.
But you said the pharmaceutical.
That was an example.
Oh, okay. And aren't we going to do that?
Well, we're not. Well, we don't have pharmacy at this time. It may be something that we may look forward to later.
Because we have the health science strand.
And right now, but we are planning on, as I'm working with the colleges, we are planning on incorporating business certificates as well as health science certificates. But that's going to be rolling out within the next couple of years.
And once they graduate with those certificates, they're able to find a job while they continue to go to school?
If they choose to, yes.
But they are graduating from high school job ready, is what
Correct.
I'm hearing you say.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to have to explore that a whole lot more. There's a lot of new information coming to all of us as legislative sessions happen and they continue to tweak. All of this is leading me to believe that they're looking at the high schools to become really the junior colleges almost, and doing that work, and then getting the colleges almost vocational in nature, in the sense of they're getting very vocational type of courses.
Correct.
But not the old time, they don't have HVAC that I know of. They
some schools do. We don't offer it, but some schools do have it.
High schools do,
Yes.
but the colleges, like at Collin College, for example, when I say vocational courses, I mean like IT type and being able to get them further up the IT ladder.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's fascinating. It's all being pushed down. So how are we preparing our kids to be college ready?
Well, in middle school, even though we consider it as being college ready, what we're doing is we're focusing on those students being able to find a pathway of their choice. So in 6th grade, they have courses. We have a course that's offered that kind of like it focuses on all 3 of the pathways. And then we have the same course, not the same course, but a similar course in 7th grade. However, in 8th grade, we have first semester, the students may take a course that's focusing on IT, and then the second semester they focus on public service health, but then business is also integrated in both of those. So by the end of 8th grade, they will be able to determine which pathway they want to go into, which is their endorsement. One of the things that the state has stated is that once the student has chosen a pathway, then them and their parents would have to kind of like have a written letter for them to change their pathway. Because what we want ultimately is for them to be able to complete 4 classes within that endorsement, opposed to hopping around.
That's like trying to tell your parents you want to change your major after your sophomore year in college.
Exactly.
Bad idea.
Exactly.
But again, they're pushing everything down to the high school level. So the TSI is the college prep test that they have to take and make a certain scale score. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so the TSI, which is the Texas Success Initiative, it is similar to when a student wants to attend a four-year college or university, they have to take the ACT or the SAT. So the TSI is the test that they take to get into a junior college. And it is based on like the 11th grade year. So that's why before, if a student was taking Algebra 2 or they were taking English 3, then they would kind of like take those scores from their ELC and then utilize those. Well, because they want more students to be able to apply, now they have decided that the students can, we can use their PSAT scores to qualify. We can also use their, oh my goodness, they have the TSI, oh, and then like the ELCs. So there's 3 ways in which they can
reach a
qualify
certain
now.
scale score on the ELC.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 ways of being labeled college ready.
Yes, PSAT, ELC, and TSI. Yes.
Okay. And is that working? Is that giving more kids?
Yes, it does. It gives more students opportunities to be able to participate in the program without having to take the TSI. So they would have already taken the test previously. In Legacy, we do offer the PSAT to all of our 8th through 11th grade students, and then our seniors, of course, they take the SAT.
Okay. One of the things that I had to learn at a deeper level, and I don't know that I can say I've learned it at the deepest level, but it's better than it was a few weeks ago, was the crosswalk. And one of the messages, and I see now that I was being old-fashioned in my thinking around college. I was thinking associate's degree, we're preparing them for an associate's degree, and if they do everything we tell them to do, they'll graduate with an associate's degree. But I was wrong. And so when that student challenged my thinking, I had to go and learn more. And he was, I don't know that he knew what you know, but he was wanting more college, and we weren't able to easily say what we could and couldn't do. And so that forced me to sit down with he and his parents and you and Ms. Zambrano and truly understand this complicated web of opportunity. Let me just say, it's a complicated web of opportunity for our families that we must learn. It's not a matter of it being too complicated. It's just a matter of getting to the point where we understand it well enough that we can help our students. So talk a little bit about the crosswalk versus high school requirements versus college.
Okay. So what we have is when we consider a crosswalk, basically it means that we have looked at our TEKS and we have decided that the college courses align with our TEKS. So therefore, the students will receive the credit from us as well as the credits from the college. So the colleges recommend, I'm going to just give an example for English. The college recommends that students who are in English 3 take English courses, starting in English 3.
1301. So that's English 1 in
English
college.
1301, exactly. However, so for us, English for us is first semester half a credit, second semester the other half credit, so 1 full credit. However, for English 1301 in college, that's 3 credits. English 02, second semester is 3 credits, so they have 6 credits of English at that time. So if a student takes, let's say for instance 1301, 1302, and then they have, let's say for instance they take the next year 2322 and 2323, which that's our British English, then they will have 12 credit hours. Now, not necessarily saying that they're going to need 12 credit hours in English, however, they would have taken it. In many cases, those extra courses that they would have taken with us would be considered electives towards their associate's degree. However, even though we focus on associate's degree, like these courses are not just for an associate's degree. It's if a student wants to go to a university or a college, 4-year college or university as well, so they transfer over to those colleges as well. So it's not just to receive an associate's degree.
Well, I found it in my case, in my personal case, my daughter, who is adopted, had free credit, free college because she was adopted through CPS. Mm-hmm. And at that time, they still gave the college to any adopted kids. Mm-hmm. So she she and her brother, who was also adopted out, were the first in their family, their biological family, to do college. And so it was a great celebration when she went through and she got her associate's degree. We went to the ceremony, and then trying to get her back in. You know, that ceremony was like, that was probably not, we probably shouldn't have done that, because that added such closure in her mind. You know, I've already superseded my biological family, and I'm done.
Right.
So I look back on that. That's one of my parent regrets that I have. But it's bigger than that, though. I think that what I'm trying to wrap my brain around, and I think we need to get better at, is helping kids and their families at Legacy understand that this is a whole new world of college and career. It's not traditional, like you get a few college hours in high school, which may or may not transfer to your college when you graduate high school, and then you do your 4 years and you're out. It's not like that anymore, and it's becoming even more, I won't use the word complicated, but I'll use the word complex. Because we have the certifications, because we have these endorsements, and because our pathway courses are getting so sophisticated. I mean, certainly the courses that Mr. Walker teaches, and again, if you take all 4 of them, it leads to an opportunity to get a job with an IT company, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, we have a lot of sophistication that's happening within our high school leading to college that we need to learn how to verbalize better, because it's so new. I mean, this is really coming out of these legislative sessions as they tweak House Bill 5. It's something that you have to stay on top of, and
Yes.
certainly I do too. Now that I've had the sort of the traditional thought of college ripped from my mind, I need to replace it with that understanding that we're in a dual credit environment in high school that could lead kids to bring with them college hours to college that they earned at Legacy, or if they're not college, if the area, I don't want to say not college material, because that's one of those terms that needs to go away. If they're not, if they're going into an area that allows them to get a job in a place that will pay them extra because they did
they have their certificate.
the certificates in our high school, and then of course they would continue to get certificates as adults to continue growing up the ladder. We need to have those understandings and make available to our kids those interest inventories early on, so that they know or pretty much get a feel for what they think they want to do the rest of their life. So how do we do that? How do we prepare kids to pick our endorsements?
That was one of the things that I shared a few minutes ago. In 8th grade, we have the 2 courses, and then we integrate the 3rd. And so that's
I guess I'm
year.
thinking of Naviance. Talk about Naviance.
Okay, well, Naviance, it is a college prep program, and so what we started in 6th grade, and so the students are able to go in and complete like personality tests. They complete tests to determine what their interests are, what areas they would be really good in, things of that nature. And so they're able to, there's a curriculum starting from 6th grade through 12th grade, and so each year they're able to answer different questions and kind of just find out more of who they are. As we get into the high school, then we talk about they're understanding how to read their transcripts. They talk about they integrate some essays that we would like for them to write, which is easier to start applying for colleges as well as scholarships, and then their resume, which is very important. We want to start that in 9th grade, so that as they become 12th graders, then they're not trying to figure out, oh, what did I do in 9th grade, what extracurricular activity, things of that nature. And so that's one of the ways we use Naviance.
So and that's what I'm talking about, that we need to get better at the narrative around what we're actually doing. So we are not only giving kids in middle school courses, overview courses of what our endorsements are in high school, but we're also having them take part in Naviance, which is a college readiness software that's long-term. It follows them from 6th through 12th, and it lets them build that interest base into hopefully connecting with what they're taking in their courses in middle school, to where it helps them really finally decide which course would be better for them, or which endorsement would be better for them. So that's why it's getting even harder to move high schools. I try to explain to parents sometimes, bringing an 11th grader to Legacy is a dangerous thing to do. Why is that
really
dangerous?
It's dangerous because many times all schools don't offer the same pathways. So, like I said, the last 2 years, we didn't have business. And so we did begin to incorporate business. And so we only had the two. So let's say, for instance, some students, they would come in with architecture, and we didn't offer it. So then therefore, they could still graduate, but they wouldn't be able to graduate with the full endorsement. They would just graduate with the one endorsement, which would still be multiple disciplinary, which is similar to the 4x4. But we do like for students to also, like I said, to be career ready with that endorsement with the 4 classes. Another reason is all schools don't offer 8 classes as we do, because we have the A-Day, B-Day. Some only offer 6, some offer 7. So some students have to take the courses on Edgenuity just to make up to get the 26 credits to actually graduate.
Graduate on time, right. So you have to be careful about moving your kids now. It's a positive and a negative to have your public high school be like a junior college, because just like I said earlier, you don't want to change your major in the middle of the high school, because then if you do, and we do have kids who move from out of state, they want a charter school, and they have to agree that the 2 missing elective pathway courses in their new endorsement with us have to be taken before they graduate.
Well, we try. However, if we can't get them to do that, then they graduate with the 4x4.
Yeah. So, it's just that if you want to be a nurse,
yes,
and we have health science, but you come to us starting 11th grade, and you've got to make up those medical courses before you graduate if you want to go, because that would be easiest, for example, to go into College, which has now a 4-year nursing program.
Correct.
With those elective courses already done. So I have a feeling I've made it sound as complicated as it is. So I need to keep talking about it until it settles. But one of the questions that I had for ourselves, but I figured it out, I think it was your help, matter of fact. We were with the parent, and I said, gosh, we really should become an early college high school. And then you said something about we're an open enrollment charter school,
Yes.
which means we can't be an
Correct.
early college high school, because early college high school kids are it's like a magnet school. The kids apply, and if they have a college readiness score that's acceptable to that high school, that early college high school, then they're accepted. And then they go to that high school, and they're college students. But we don't have that option. We're an open enrollment charter, and we have special needs kids. We have kids who don't speak English yet. And so holding them to a dual credit curriculum would be setting them up for failure. And certainly we don't want to be the reason why a child fails their first college course. So we are, I'm very happy with our numbers now that we've sort of settled in. We've been doing this for three or 4 years, but we've finally settled in. We have 57 in Mesquite that are taking dual credit.
That is correct. And I have about 20 applications that I'm ready to process for the second semester. So
And the kids are excited about it.
they are. Yes, and their parents are as well. I received a phone call this morning asking about the dual credit program, and it's usually about at least once or twice a week that a parent will call and inquire. So I do believe that many students are going to begin to apply.
And then so far, we've been pretty good about making sure the kids actually pass their courses.
Yes.
I mean, we've had a situation or two where the child went out of his or her way to fail the course. But that's an unusual situation, and usually there's a social emotional reason behind that. But the majority of our kids are now graduating. We've had 2 graduating classes. We had both years we've had kids graduating with between 30 and 60 hours.
Correct.
And so we're very proud of them for that.
And one of the things that I'll say, and I would like to commend the teachers at both campuses, is that students who are in dual credit, the teachers, our legacy teachers, will continue to help them. They're able to go to tutoring. Sometimes they may sit in, if it's like a English class, they may get to sit in the English class with the teacher and just kind of like listen so that they can gain more knowledge of what they're doing in their dual credit course. So that is very commendable of our teachers, of making sure that they're also holding the kids accountable by helping them as well.
And before I forget, we are a STEM designated district. And so what are the requirements there? Why do we even do dual credit? Why should we?
We should do dual credit because it's the right thing to do. And I'm gonna just say that because in today's age, a lot of students, they don't feel that they can go to college or attend college, and being able to start in high school with the support that we offer, they're receiving support from the school, from the college, as well as from the school. And then it kind of like gives them that confidence of knowing that they can. With us being STEM designated, we are basically saying that we're going to ensure that at least 85% of our students are going to take 15 credit hours by the time they graduate, and then making sure that they have at least taken one math or science course in that time frame. So that's what's really important for like that core. We do start them out in 9th grade. So in 9th grade, they take electives, something like sociology and psychology, because we don't want to overload them with the Englishes and the maths and things of that nature. And then they're able to start incorporating Spanish. And then from there, they begin to start taking some of the harder courses, which would be the Englishes, the sciences, the math, and so on and so forth. However, I will say that this year was our first year. We have a low class number, but Mr. Abreu is going to rock that, I'm sure. We did start our first chemistry dual credit course on campus this year.
Because Mr. Abreu has his master's in that, and he can be the adjunct.
Yes, exactly.
Like Mr. Walker, we have two adjuncts, and it's sort of nice. The college pays them a stipend for being teacher of record for them, and so it's a win-win for all of us.
Correct.
That's so exciting. Anything else we need that we may not have talked about this dual credit world?
Well, I mean, just the application process. There's a difference in both campuses. For the Mesquite campus, the student, they come in, they receive a packet. They do have to complete the packet. I have to sit down with them and look at their scores to see if they're TSI met, or like we talked about, PSAT, ELC, to determine which courses they can take. And then the college actually registers them for the classes. And for Plano, it's similar but yet different. There is an application process. Ms. Zambriano or Ms. May has to approve the courses in which they're going to take based still on the test requirements. However, the students have to go in the system and they have to register themselves for their classes. So that is one of the differences.
So another difference that I remember right off the top of my head is that Eastfield has more grant money than Collin College, and so they pay for the TSI?
Yes. So what happens for TSI, the students are able to take it twice without being charged. If they take it more than twice, then they have to pay $10. So what that looks like, and what I encourage students to do, is to go in and take all three parts. So it's reading, writing, and math. I say take all three parts. If you're not successful in one part, then you may get to go back and take the test again, but then it's still no charge, and hopefully you'll pass it then.
Now at Collin College, the parents have to pay for it and we reimburse them.
Correct. So it's a $29 fee.
And we don't pay for courses during the summer, but if students want to take, once they're enrolled in college, they're college students.
Correct.
And so they can take more college during the summer. That would be at their parents' expense.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's how we've had, the question came up, how did our young men last year graduate with an associate's, when we now know we can't offer every single thing on every associate for every junior college that we're partners with, and they had done it on their own.
And that's correct. So they went to the college, they sat down with their advisor, they looked at the courses that they needed, they came in and sat down with me. I looked over our TEKS to look at the classes that we would offer, and then at that point I was able to determine which courses Legacy would be able to pay for, and then those other courses they took in the summer at their parents' expense.
So right now we have the understanding that we have to do individualized learning plans for our dual credit students, especially if they took high school courses in 8th grade.
That is correct.
Because that's good for the student. It frees up their time later on, but it does upset the scheduling apple cart.
Yes.
And we've had to learn that the hard way. But if I can say we're getting better at something, we're getting better at helping students take the proper credit according to their ability. Mm-hmm. And so we have kids who are 8th graders but are taking some 9th grade courses. And so we have 7th graders who are taking some 8th grade math and science, but they want to remain. Their parents want them to remain in 7th grade mm-hmm. with their buddies and so forth, but they want them challenged at the higher level. So we have that going on in a free public school.
That's true.
Well, thank you, Ms. Forge. You told me you were excited about talking about dual credit. I can tell.
I am.
Your face lights up when you talk about it. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for, you haven't untangled it all yet for me, but we need to keep talking about it. Maybe we'll come back later with some kids.
Okay.
Let's come back later in the year with some kids who have taken some dual credit this year, and they can talk about the experience.
Okay.
Super. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting us talk about this dual credit opportunity that we offer. Thank you for letting me, unfortunately, show what I didn't know. But thank you to a student in Plano and his family. I now am better versed in our dual credit learning world, and we will continue that conversation until all of us understand it so well that we easily know how to better help all of our kids graduate with more college hours. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ask Dr. Be Good show. For more information on Legacy Preparatory Charter Schools, visit our website, legacypca.com, or call 469-249-1099. And remember to like us on Facebook, where we stream live weekly Tuesdays at 3 p.m.